This is gonna be a very vulnerable video. This is the true video that I'm like, really don't think I'm gonna be putting this up. So essentially, I don't even know how much to explain or give of details. Essentially, I'll start more abstractly. There's something that I want that I'm not sure about going after directly, because I don't know if it's okay. This is gonna be really this is gonna be way too confusing doing it like that, so I guess I'll just say what it is. I don't like this. My 8th house Mercury in Cancer is like, hide, 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 hide. A part of why I am loving this expression though is because it's helping me sink even deeper into the acceptance that all is well, and that all parts of me are allowed, which is essentially the root of this situation for me. I believe we'll see more. Kingfisher. Yeah, these 2 cards is my situation. I'm like, do I wait or do I go? Do I be the one, or do I allow the universe to flow more to me? So essentially, I'm not doing a reading for should I do this or should I do this. I'm doing a reading to see why don't I want to do this? What are the triggers around it? My strongest intention is just return to self, understand the self, love the self, be at peace. So, and this situation doesn't feel at peace to me. So no matter what direction I actually choose to go in, be that just kind of no direction or direction, I want to feel at peace with that. Whee! Okay. I want first to get clarity. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it ask questions. My favorite kinds of readings are just where let's just see what happens. And sharing, this isn't really gonna be me like probably showing all the cards and stuff. It's more just like, I want this videoed, and it's more like I feel like this expression of self is very vulnerable and could really be valuable for some people. I guess that's what I'll say. At the back, this is a little synchronicity for me, rainbows / rainbow bridges. At the back is Rainbow Dragon. Brings the leap of joy that opens new doors. Have trust, rediscover wisdom, expect miracles, accept opportunities. So essentially with this situation, the wisdom that I do keep coming back to. So I keep feeling the urge like, oh, do I need to make it happen? And then I keep remembering, no, all is well. I allow in kind of the gift of patience. But I continually return to non-peace, which is what I'm back at. I'm looking at... No, I'm not. Okay, what are the other cards? Lilac Fire Dragon transmutes through the power of divine love. Deep Blue Dragon keeps you safe by clearing your pathway. I'm just laughing because they're both fire. Burn it up. Yeah, it's like something is so ready to be released for me, but I can't quite tell what. So the whole energy that I'm feeling is the reason why I don't want to go towards this thing is because, well, it's two reasons, but the the one I'll express right now first is I don't want to impose. But more than that, yeah, okay, it's more from wisdom actually, because the reason why I don't want to place myself in, like, towards it is because I can feel that doing that is not, it doesn't feel good, and it's coming from like putting myself in that energy is almost with this idea that I go into this quote unquote bad situation to then like kind of bring what I want out. It's not, it feels more like going backwards to go forwards. It's not fully clicking like that though. The last dragon is Royal Blue and Gold Dragon. Strengthens you to stand in your power with wisdom. See, I know that I'm in the exact right place and that magnetism is the essence that I've been growing, I guess. Not growing. Realizing. Look at the light. Oh, maybe you can't see it. Oh yeah. I like that this is the setup this time because it's like, okay, it kind of brings you into my room more. It's more like you being an observer of my personal practice. I hate the word practice. I do not do practices. Like, this is not a practice. That's not my kind of term. Brings you into my life. Oh, you can feel or hear my throat chakra. So like, I don't want to be saying this. A part of why I don't like this filming also is like, it's just from an egotistical space because I want you to see the true me, or a specific kind of me. Yeah, it's not the true, because you're not actually seeing how I would usually do things. Because in essence you never can. If I'm sharing something, if I'm sharing a space with you, you're never going to be able to see the space that I hold on my own. And that just comes back to, for me, wanting others to see the real me so that they can accept it. as opposed to being centered in just the real me, accepting the me that I know that I am. Okay, I want to get some tarot. It's like I know my power isn't going after this. It's not taking action towards it. I just... What is it? Because I felt a strong energy of like... Aha! So it was in my power to act. And I've always had the ability to act. I still have the ability to act if I choose. But... And that's what I'm confused about in this energy. I wonder how this is coming through in words. Pink, blue, and orange could be significant. Pink, blue, and orange. Let's try and give it a shuffle this way. My hands, look how tiny my hands are. It's like, makes my hands go all red. It's like stretches to the extreme. Okay. Boy, are there some cards in this. Queen of Wands. Yes. But, yeah, yes, Hierophant. Okay. It's essentially me being able to recognize what my true power is. And it's like I still have this distorted view of power that is more action oriented as opposed to magnetizing. I'm being drawn to now the question of who is the me that I am, who is the me that exists within the reality that I'm trying to create. Because usually I see it like I'm looking at the reality that I'm wanting as opposed to the truth of the essence of what I'm wanting. How I feel with that reality. The me that is vibrating at that same state. Who is that me? It's so interesting because I just feel like everything's on the like King of Swords at the back. Everything feels like it's on the brink of being created for me. And that is when I suddenly get this urge of like, do I take action? It's like, it's funny because it's literally like, you were holding the correct space and then just before you've magnetized it, you question, what is this the right space? It's like it's just there, it's almost there, don't change now. There's so much energy that is in this space that I don't want to express. See, the funny thing is, when I'm on my own, I actually, like, I talk as if I'm talking to others a lot, and my words always flow so much, and it's kind of like how I understand things. Sometimes I like to, like, understand what I'm experiencing through expressing it to others, and in that way I usually speak a lot more fluidly, or I guess it's because I'm not thinking of what I'm trying to say, I'm just saying it. Whereas here, I'm not sure if it's because I'm trying to think of what to say and be very particular with my words because I don't want to like express the wrong thing. Maybe that's it. I don't know if that's it. It's just such a different energy. It's like in this space, I'm just thinking now. I'm not finishing that past sentence, but I was just thinking how I don't want to upload this. but a part of me like gets lit on fire by the thought of that because it pushes my boundaries of acceptance, like I said before. Okay. What do now? It's a really simple answer because it's just like when you embody your fullest self, when you embody your lightest self, what do you do? Where do you look? Where is your focus? What is the direction then? And it's very clear to me that it's not going towards what I think is this desire. It's like the desire is, it's like there, but the way I'd be going, by taking action, I'd be going towards an illusion of that desire as opposed to what that feeling, that essence of the desire is, that the true vision. It's like I see my vision and I'm trying to look around to how to get it, and I see like, oh, this looks very similar. So, and I know I can act towards this. I can already like I could make this happen. So I'm thinking, oh, do I do it? But it's not what I truly, when I feel into who I am taking that action, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel light and of love. It feels like disappointment. Disappointment is, I love disappointment. It is the best emotion for like telling things apart. Within my first relationship, like romantic partnership, disappointment was like the primary emotion that I grew from, or that I had a huge realization after I left that relationship, that disappointment doesn't mean that you are wrong and that you need to be more grateful. Disappointment is showing you where you are not satisfied, where things can be shifted. There were a lot of things that I felt disappointed in, and that felt like, oh, this is the extent of life, or like something I thought was going to be really magical was not. It was more painful, and it was a disappointment. It was of the same essence of when I was younger, I believed in Sean Corn, Santa Claus, Father Christmas, until I was like, quote unquote, oh well, not quote unquote, to my mum, I was too old to still be believing in him. So before I went to secondary school, she told me that he doesn't exist, because she didn't want me to like get bullied. And that was just that was the first time in my life that I remember like the biggest feeling of disappointment, because it was like the world was so magical, and then and I'd held on to it. It's like I like knew that he wasn't real, but I had held on to this belief that he was, because I was holding on to that vision, that world of magic. And when I found out that, whoa, I'm like gonna cry. When I was told that he didn't exist, it was like the magic got zapped out of the world, and that the other part of me won, like the part that was like, oh, it really is a dull world. It really is like emotionless. It really is just plain. So that was the like first feeling of disappointment that I got. And yeah, this reading is so surrounded that. It's like, if that world were the true world, the zapped, the non-magical, the plain world, I would have to take action on this. But if life was magical and sparkly, then I wouldn't, and life would flow with me. Like life would flow. Life would exist. I like that as a tell of decision making. Which one is magical and which one is disappointment, if those two emotions apply. What if magic was an emotion? I like viewing that. I feel like I want to finish that story though. Yeah, it was essentially, there's been 2 times in my life that I've felt like a defeated amount of disappointment, which I both associate with a loss of magic, like a quote unquote loss, like I no longer saw the world as magical. Yeah. And unlike a lot of people, I have extreme fond memories of my spiritual awakening, because, or quote unquote spiritual awakening. You know what? For all the terms that I don't resonate with, I kind of do resonate with the term spiritual awakening. Awakening to the magic. I love that! Magical awakening. My magic awakening. I love that. My awareness of magic awakening. Okay. So I awoke to magic, to spirituality when I was 13, and my brother introduced auras to me, and that was the moment when I feel like magic like returned to my life. It was like an aha moment, like the world is magical. Unicorns do exist. Color exists. So that the beginning of my spiritual journey was an amazing one, filled of like, wow, what else exists? And then going on to learn about ETs existing, and just everything spiritual nature, everything that we don't see with our 2 eyes and that we're not told in at least the schools that I have been a part of. And I guess in my heart, that's kind of what I want to remind everyone else. I want to be that mirror of, hey, no, look, the world is magical. I want to show people that disappointment doesn't mean that you have to stay in something or that you have to change. It can be that you don't have to accept what you're accepting, that you can have more, that you can have magic, you can have that which you love, that world that you desire, that you envision, it exists. And you get to follow that, you get to live that. Yeah. I kind of love that. This reading turned into a magic reading. And I really, really love the word magic. This is kind of turned into like a story time. Or like a bit about me. When I was younger, maybe like 14, 15, maybe like 15, 14, I don't know. I think 15, I'll say. I did readings for, yeah, it would have been 15 or 16 maybe. I started an Etsy shop called Magic Moon Readings. Incidentally, I used magic with a K, although I don't really resonate with that. I like magic with a C. That's the kind of magic that my heart loves. It's like how I may do lots of like witchy things and I resonate with having lots of witch past lives, but I don't resonate with being a witch or that label in this lifetime. It's like I resonate. If I were to resonate with labels, I think I would resonate more with magician. Not because of like the masculine version of witch, which I've heard that is, but because just magician, it's like, it feels more like playing with magic. It feels more like a fantastical kind of magic as opposed to like more earthy magic. It feels more like spells. I mean, not okay, I love the word spells for like I'm getting an image of the game Wizard 101. Like the kind of spells you see in movies, maybe like when like stuff comes out of a wand. I love that. But and like being able to fly. That kind of magic. Oh, and transformation magic. But I don't know, when I said the word spells, I guess maybe it's just some people who are watching their perspective on the word spell. I just didn't really like that. What was I saying? I felt like I had something. Oh, just about my Etsy shop, which was called Magic Moon Readings. Because I love the moon. But yeah, I used the K. My mum helped me come up with the name. But I don't really like. I love the moon. I love the moon. And I do love magic. But as a name, kind of a bit cringy to me. I know there are a lot of names. I don't know. Yeah, just that K. I don't know about that K. I need a new alphabet. I'm ready for a new for my own alphabet. Anything else? I'm really noticing there's like we'll call him a flower on her third eye, and then the Queen of Wands has like a fire crown of sorts. Those are the good chakras, aren't they? Those ones. Actually, going along with the moon, I love the causal chakra. I don't know how much to like just keep flowing. Like the thought of me expressing, then I guess I'll just go with it. This is a bit of an about me section. I'm just thinking about that magic now versus okay, mine going off in other trails, but I felt drawn when I said about the causal chakra to share how I cracked my head when and I have a scar there, which is so cool, isn't it? No hair grows on it. It's only small, and it wasn't major. Like I didn't need stitches or anything. They glued it back. But there was like tons of blood and it hurt like hell. Because apparently I know what hell feels like. Yeah, I cracked my head when I was 6. Like just turned 6-ish. And at that point in time, I that is when I was born. So my body cracked its head. So I'm a soul walking, step in, whatever you want to call it, where the soul that was birthed in my mother, from my mother, the soul at the beginning of this body's journey was a different soul, which I relate to the name that I've gone by for most of my life, which is Beth, or Bethan. So I refer to her as Beth, that soul, that first soul. And when I was 6, when she was 6, she cracked her head, we cracked our head. And then I came in, and I resonate more with the name Anwen. When I was born, my parents called me Anwen. They named me Anwen, but after about a week or 2, they changed it to Bethan. So I went by Beth, until like, I guess around the last few years, I've been resonating more with Anwen, and then recently, I don't know time at all. Maybe like a year and a half, a year, less than that. I don't know. I've been like, yeah, I'm Anwen. Oh yeah, it was when I was making my oracle deck. Because it's in one of the cards. There's a description of it. But it was recorded the moment when I was like, yes, I am Anwen, is written down in that deck, which I created around, so it probably would have been November 2024. Yeah, so I kind of go by Anwen. I don't have many people in my life, so it's not like anyone calls me Anwen. In my head, I don't really call my own name either. And I don't really resonate with names too much. I might resonate more with it. I kind of like Weaver of Worlds, which is also, by the way, side note, yes, very cringy in one way, but also I love it and it's not cringy at all. And I kind of resonate more with the name Weaver of Worlds, which feels more like my soul, as opposed to Anwen, which feels more like my soul embodied into this incarnation. but I also don't know. I guess I'll say I don't know in this moment. It's kind of also like there are loads of layers to it where I do think that, but I also think like 5 other things, which I go between feeling more strongly in different times. And yeah, I like changing my mind a lot, but more than changing it, it's kind of like I don't really like settling on anything. I like more remaining open to everything. Yeah, but the name is cool because I really resonate with the color white, but more than like a creamy white, it's like a very clear color. And Anwen in Welsh can kind of translate to fair one, or like wen is kind of white, so fair one, or like white one. Which is cool. Whereas Beth is she is a soul, very more like fiery, more like red in colour to me. Yeah, I see Beth as quite like red and green. Christmas colour, Sean Connery colour, Santa Claus colour. Hey, also the colour of the camera is moving. Also the colour of my pillow. And this is like the only thing that I have from really early childhood. Like this was the pillow that Beth would have slept on. Pillowcase. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if me leaving that behind. Did I mention that's green and red? I think that's what I think I said that. Yes. And my bed. Yes, I can. The camera won't like shift around, so I was gonna show you my bed, but my bed sheet is white with butterflies on, and that I got in. So I was born in this house. Well, Beth was born for 6. We lived there for. She lived there for 6 years. I lived in my first house for 6 years. I still have the memories of her. For 6 years, and then we moved. Well, for 5 3/4 years. Then we moved to the new. Okay, I'm gonna start again. Just so I remember, bedsheet, the third house. So I was born in England, and I lived there for 5 3/4 years. Then my family moved to Wales, and we lived on like the border of, well, not like on the border, but like near England, in location in South Wales. We lived there for 2 years, and that house is where I cracked my head, like very shortly after moving to Wales. So like Beth is like the England guy, and I'm like the Wales guy. And then so 2 years in that house, and then we moved more west of there, and we lived there for like I don't know how many years, like a random number, like 7 years, 9 years, I don't know, until I was probably like 17, maybe 16, 17. Just before turning 17. Yes, I think so. And it's that house that I got those bed sheets, and so that was the only house that Beth hadn't lived there at all. Like, first house, Beth. Second house, Beth and me. Beth and Anwen. third house, just Anwen, and in that house I got those bed sheets. The white ones, the white butterfly ones. Yeah, Beth was like the caterpillar, and Anwen is like the butterfly. It does feel like that. Beth was way more of a grounded being, soul incarnated, and me, Anwen, is far more ethereal, like off the ground. And if I'm naming all the houses, then I lived in even more west. Each house I've lived in just goes more west. I lived there with my dad from just before the age of 17 to I don't know. I've been back and forth a couple times from now. This is the final house, here with my mum, from which is even more west. I don't know time wise how long I've been here, but I'm and for like 3 months I lived in, or it's not really living, it's kind of living, my being was living there for 3 months, which feels like long enough of a time to note as like a kind of house, with my partner, my old partner, first partner guy, first and last so far, in America, in Indiana. And I'm now 21, so I don't know how long between like this house and my dad's house. I feel like I lived here for a little less than half of the time between. I'm not explaining this well. So wait, if I got there 17, so that's 4 years. Yeah, I'd say maybe I lived with my dad for like 2.5 years, and here for like, what, 1.5 years? Wait, yeah, is that 4? 2.5 and 1.5, yeah. Yeah. And that is where I am. And I feel like just like continually saying stuff about myself now, so I guess I'll flow with it. There's so much that if I'm like doing a video on talking about myself, there's like so much I can say. I love oracle cards. Love crystals. Love nature. That's what I thought of, and then forgot. I can't show you pictures that. Well, I guess I could edit the video and put them in, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, my laptop's closed. I need to, if I'm mentioning myself, I need to mention my favourite girlies. When I was like, or Beth was like 5, my family got a dog called Tinkerbell, who's a Belgian Shepherd crossed with a collie. She was the best. And she died in Woodside, the third house. And she was 18, I believe, or was she 17? Well, she was like 1 year older than me, and I was like 16, so she'd have been 17 when she died. She was so old, and so crazy, and so purple color and like a grandmother vibe. And I always felt like me and her we just got each other. And I reckon she might have been like a Pisces moon. We don't know when she was born, but her and my little baby, who we got as a puppy. Oh yeah, we got her when she was 6 years old. Yeah, so I'd have been 5. In 2017, we got, this was still while she was alive, we got a puppy. I got a puppy. My family, called Poppy, and Poppy was a Pomeranian. She's my little baby. And she did have a Pisces moon. And I have a Pisces moon. Well, I have a Cetus moon. And yeah, Poppy's my baby. My baby. Spirit baby. She feels less like my baby when she's in spirit, because her soul is like obviously not the exact same as the physicalized. Like, oh, Tinkerbell as a soul, she is so much, to me she feels so much more serious and so much more, I feel really weird talking to her like this about her. It's like talking about her when it's just weird. Also when I point, it's like that's not how I like sense or communicate. I don't really feel them like in the room so much as I do from like within, more like, I don't know, a different space. But sometimes I do with the room. But yeah, Tinkerbell's soul is way more like grandma feeling to me, whereas when she was in her body, and me and her, when she was in her body, she always felt like a sister to me. And like she understood me, and Poppy understood me too, but Poppy's a younger soul, and we understood each other, I guess, more emotionally, but Tinkerbell was like we understood each other spiritually. And I don't, like, not exactly those two things, but kind of. Yeah, it's funny because Tinky was a crazy dog. But she doesn't feel like a crazy soul. It's like she has that spark to her, but in body, like a collie, like she'd run around insane. She'd have wild moments where she'd just like speed around the house, run in circles around the living room. And Poppy was crazy too, but not as crazy as Tinkerbell. Poppy was more calm, yeah. Poppy loved, and I loved, sitting on my lap a lot. She's quite a small Pomeranian, and like not so much like the super poofy fur, but like more sleeky kind of fur. She looked like a tiny fox, and Tinkerbell looked like a cross between. Tinkerbell was completely black, and Poppy was tan, and Tinky looked like, I mean, until she got older and got more grey and like brown on her chest a tiny bit. Yeah, Tinky looked like a cross between a wolf and a fox, but like completely black. And my family does have a dog currently alive called Bonnie, who's a Japanese Spitz, so she's completely white and very fluffy. All 3 dogs were fluffy. But me and Bonnie don't bond so well. She's not in this house currently. Usually my dad has her. But yeah, me and Bonnie, she's just a bit too dumb for me to feel like I can connect with. It's like, that's not the pure reason. Just we just vibrate in very different states. I love her, but she doesn't get me like Poppy and Tinky did. I have an older brother. It feels weird. It's like I don't know what perspective to take when explaining all of this, because there's so many different ways. Like, I guess it's also like how into detail do I go? Like my brother is spiritual, like I believe I mentioned. He was the one that introduced me to auras at the beginning. So for ages, me and him were very close. So we just talk like all day, every day. Oh yeah, I left school at 14. I left school at 14. Because I felt a calling elsewhere. I just intuitively, it was just I know I have to do this. So even though I didn't have like a clear plan, my brother helped me convince my parents to let me leave school. And after lots of like intense talks where I cried, I remember one time in particular, because I didn't like crying in front of anyone. It was like getting so much during these talks, because I really hated school at this time. It's like I just knew that it wasn't where I needed to be. I have loads of yods in my chart astrologically, if you're curious of that too. So yeah, that one time I remember in particular, it's just stuck with me. I'm not sure really why. That I just remember excusing myself to go to the toilet and just like bawling my eyes out crying. But because at least I used to have this thing. I don't know that I still have it, but I used to be able to just like cry a ton and then look completely normal. Look like no one could tell that I'd cried. And I called it like a blessing and a curse, because it was like, oh, no one can tell I've cried, but then it's also like that kind of lonely feeling of no one can tell that I've been crying. Like, yeah. So yeah, I convinced my parents to let me leave school, and I got quote unquote homeschooled. Like, I mean, legally, I don't even know what like is okay to be saying and stuff, like legally, but it's fine. I'm too innocent. I don't. I forgot where that trail of thought went then. I forgot what I was saying. I left school. I knew that was spiritually guided. Even just legally, my brother homeschooled me, but I don't have any qualifications. Like, I didn't. To start with, my parents let me leave school if I would do GCSEs like one by one. So I was, or at least if I'm not wanting to do every exam thing, then I can at least have like English and maths. And I started on just doing maths GCSEs at home, and then after like not long at all of doing maths at home, I just had that same exact feeling of that told me to leave school. It was like, this isn't it. I'm not meant to be doing this. So then it was way easier to drop that, but it was still terribly difficult to face pushing my parents to let me not do any GCSEs then. So, but I did it, and I became free. So, yeah. It's not like I couldn't have done it either. I don't know if it's relevant to say, but it's like, it's not like I was dumb. It's because I was smart that I did it. My ego went there. We don't need to go there. Yeah, and from there, basically. Oh, I was saying about me and my brother. Yeah, so, he's 4.5 years older than me, and after he left college, then we were both free of school. He had left college before, I think, or completed college. Yeah, we both basically for like years and years, well, not years and years, but well, for years, a big chunk of life was we play games, like video games, while talking and processing through spiritual trauma / emotional trauma, or like talking about spirituality together, and yeah, processing, releasing emotional stuff. Yeah, my family dynamic, my family line, blood, physicalized line, not very loving. But I was close with my family. It's like I like, it's like we all love each other, but they don't. My parents don't like really understand true love from my perspective. And I resonate with being, or like, I don't really resonate. I don't like using the term, but it is kind of helpful to explain. The term like enmeshment trauma. It's basically like me and my mum. My mum kind of saw herself. Okay, how to phrase it? It's kind of like my mum loved me too much. And it was to the extent that she kind of used me as an extension of her. So like kind of lived, found her only sense of love was through me, kind of thing. I've like told this like quote unquote story so many times in my head. It always comes through like way clearer then. Why? Let's get cards for direction, because we love cards. Yeah, I first got my first deck, which was angels. What do you call it? Crystal angels, like crystal archangels. I can't even remember the name of the deck. Was it by Dolores Cannon? I don't know. I could point it out. I can see the image of it in my head. I can see all the cards. But yeah, that was my first Oracle deck that I got when I was like 14, maybe. Oh, and where's my obsidian gone? I was just holding it. This guy, my obsidian, he's my favorite crystal of all the crystals. And I found him on a beach when I was, well, Beth actually found him, I believe. And intuitively, like my family were like just driving somewhere, like maybe my grandparents' home to, oh yeah, speaking of grandparents, like my granddad's a priest, so I grew up Christian, at least, like we went to church every Sunday kind of thing, but that ended in the second house, so not like ended, but it just like slowly we went less and less until more personal choice came in to definitely not go. And then from there my mum became less attached also to the religion, and my dad, so the dynamic is kind of like my mum too much in her masculine and my dad too much in feminine, so in like distorted ways. So like my dad was not emotionally present and kind of energetically distanced, and I just don't really like talking about my family, because here's the thing, let's work through this, because I know I've started like 3 different sentences and stuff like I know it's fine. I don't like talking about my family or like my experiences, because like in detail, like about them, because I don't like, it's kind of like, I don't like the thought that it's saying bad things about them. But this is again about just perception of others, because I personally don't see anything that I would say about them as being bad, but if they were to listen, then they would see it as bad. So like for example, guess I'll just say it, I know it's of love to say. I don't want to. I guess I don't have to use terms. Okay. Yeah, essentially my mum, it feels to me like a lot of my trauma came from my mum. Although my dad was the one who enabled it. My trauma was very like psychological. So I have a lot of like gaslighting stuff that I had worked through or have worked through. Essentially, I was kind of always made to feel like I was the problem. At least, like, I can't think of how this played out in earlier childhood, because that, well, I can. It's because in earlier childhood I was the like golden child, and then, which is like the child who can do no wrong, is very, very loved and praised. And then my older brother was more of like the scapegoat, of always complained about. And in earlier childhood we hated each other, which like so surprised me that then later on we got along so well. I always thought that was kind of funny. Like, I used to hate you. Like, I genuinely did not like him. And then he became like the closest person in my life. But yeah, saying became like, we're currently not speaking. This is so weird. I hate this. I'm too much of a closed off person to like this. To like sharing details of my life. But it feels right, even though I don't like it. It's because I don't want people to think badly of them, and I don't want them to think that I'm thinking badly of them because I love them. Anyway, yeah, me and my brother very close. Then stuff happened and we stopped speaking. Oh right, I forgot to mention, I stopped speaking with my mum for like a year, and then like really close to that, not on top of each other but really close, I stopped speaking with my brother. And then really close to that, wait, no, I mean a year of me and my brother not speaking with my mum, and then and we were living with my dad at that time. And then, oh yeah, and before that we had already cut off in that same house, but before anything with my mum, we stopped speaking with my extended family of my mum. With my dad's extended family, it's very similar. Like, our relationship with him was kind of just, it's not very existent. It's not like it didn't like, we didn't see or talk with our cousins on that side and those family on my dad's side enough, or like at all, to have anything to work around with them. But my mum's family are all too like overbearing, so it's like you have to put in boundaries then. So yeah, we stopped speaking with all of them, and then we stopped speaking later on with my mum, and that was for a year with my mum. And then, like, just before I started speaking with my mum again, me and my brother stopped speaking, and just before that I met my first partner, who I was in a relationship for. This is, like, saying it aloud is so different. It's like a new perspective on it. I can feel more of your perspective, and it's like, oh wow. Then there's so much I could say about it. It's like saying the things that happened make it sound way more I don't know what words to put there. I was saying, so me and my first partner, then, or no, me and Tom, my brother's name is Tom. Me and my, well, was Tom, at least, was, so me and my mum not speaking for a year. Just before that I met my partner. Just before that I stopped speaking with my brother. Do I go into that? Because I guess the people I'm speaking to, the actual details are probably more beneficial. So where do I start? It's just like there's so much to go into. Like, it's I guess what I'll say to start with is, like, it's like with my mum, it was all more about the state of being she was in, as opposed to like anything that she actually did physically or like logically. So the difficulty with within the emotional stuff that I dealt with, and my brother, that was, I mean, like a lifesaver that we had each other and that we were both like spiritually aware, because it was really not a lifesaver, but you know, it was very helpful, very helpful, very grateful for that, because we could reassure each other, and that he's also an 8th house Mercury, very helpful. Like reassure each other that I guess we did have a difficult upbringing, because my mum has like narcissistic tendencies, is what I or is a narcissist. I hate using that term. That's what earlier I was like, I don't want to say it because it has so much gobbledygook around it, and I feel like sometimes it can distort the idea of what the truth of it is, but it also kind of goes really well with like what that energy is, which is they display them well. I'm not saying they, I don't like that. So my mum thought that she was the best mum in the world. I'm not the best mum in the world. She really over-identified with being a mother and being loving towards her children, because essentially she was super not loved as a child. My grandparents, like priest, very strong Christians, very, not that every Christian is unloving, words. They were very strict and essentially like never told my mum and her 2 other siblings, my aunt and uncle, that they loved them. It was very much all about being good, very need to be good, need to be right, always act in the way that you need to be acting, otherwise like there's no otherwise, it's just you do. So and my mum recognised that that was not the way that she wanted to bring up her children, so she kind of, you know, flipped to the other side of the pendulum, like is seen a lot, which was to tell me and my brother that like that we're everything, like as opposed to what she felt about herself, which is I am nothing. She told me and my brother that like we are everything, and that we're so loved, and she loves us so much. So this is kind of where the like gaslighting thing appears itself, because it was difficult for us to believe that what we felt was true, which was like that we did have a difficult upbringing, or that we are like traumatized. Yeah, it's like it was hard to admit that we were traumatized, because it felt like, it seemed like, because we were told that we had the best childhood, that it just seemed like we had a really easy, loving childhood, but it wasn't how we felt. So we had to trust our feelings over what our mind would tell us. Like for example, my first partner, I hate saying stuff about people, because it's like that's their business. It's not like I'm saying names, but it's like, and no one really knows me, but I just don't like it. But my belief is that like all information is available to everyone, and that if I am sharing with love and I feel intuitively in love, then it is of love. It's just my mind that doesn't want other people to hate me for it, I think. But it's not that, it's like, I don't, well, it is that. Where am I going? My mind just went back to like, I'm not posting this, right? It's okay. It's okay. It's like that ego thing again I have of, I don't want you to see the version of me that finds it hard to express clearly. I want you to know that I want your impression of me to be that I know myself very clearly. So when I suddenly become more unsure of myself, that makes me want to not share that. So while I have worked through all of this and I within myself do know I guess my past and my present very well, there's clearly this part of me that doesn't feel that way, feels like it is harder to express, and that that it's not as clear as I sometimes feel that it is, or I thought it was. This part of me doesn't see it as clear, or finds it harder to find the words to express it. And me saying this is all just me expressing that that part of me is okay. And thus that part of you is okay too. Okay, where are we going with this? So, quote unquote narcissistic mother, quote unquote enabler father, brother that became very, very close with, but then I don't know how to explain that. We stopped speaking on more bad terms, but then quote unquote bad. Saying quote unquote is going to make this so much more complicated than it needs to be. On unpeaceful terms, and then after, I don't know, I don't good at time at all. After like a year and a bit, maybe a year and a half, year and a bit, I don't know, sometime. Then we started speaking again. I don't even remember. Then when did we stop speaking the other time? I was very wary of beginning speaking again. I guess that doesn't make too much sense. It's because I was gonna say it doesn't make too much sense if I'm not explaining the details, but I'll give some more context / work flow you through the emotional processing that I went through. So I had become far more independent from not speaking with him. At this time, I had like very strong codependence. Like enmeshment is basically like your safety is with the other. So I had that with my mum, and then I think I had that with my brother, and then I think I had that with my first partner. It's like it went in less degrees, or Oh, and my first best friend. Basically, I was like major giver. I meld towards the person, which like makes for a great channeler because I feel like, so for me personally, that's why my like empathy gifts came online in a physical way. At least part of the puzzle, part of the reason, because as a child, I needed that because my safety was in being super duper close with my mum, and that meant being very aware of her emotions and soothing her emotions, and being the best possible, like being knowing what she wanted me to be so that I could be that. So I have the thing where it's like I feel safest, or at least I used to. I have the thing where I feel safest when I'm really close with people, because then I can understand them the most, so that I can be the them that they need me to be, that they accept. That's why this whole thing of like acceptance, that's where it comes from, or surrounds. But also when I'm with others, that is when I lose myself, when I just become who they want me to be. So it's like when I'm away, I don't being with them is what's safe, but also I lose myself, so I want to be away. It's like a push and pull. But also I have I don't understand, I'm seeing it differently than I used to. Like I used to see it like it's not in the loss of self, is it? I don't know. Basically, I used to identify at least with the response, the like trauma response of the word trauma is so weird. It's like I don't really feel traumatized. I never felt traumatized. It's just the word that does apply, which I feel is so useful for people to hear who feel similar to me, or used to feel similar to me. I mean, feel similar to how I used to feel, kind of thing. Because it doesn't always feel like you are living a difficult situation. It feels normal. It never felt like I was from a traumatized family or that I was traumatized. It just, when I looked at everything psychologically, I could see it. I could see like, oh, this is like my emotions are this way, and they're this way because where did that come from in childhood? Well, this happened, this and happened. Oh, this is what a healthy parent does. You know, adding all the details together. Anyway, yeah, so I got into psychology a lot, or at least a bit. I love psychology. I don't like research anything anymore. I used to when I was like 13. The like first thing, or like some of the earlier days stuff was I basically just watched a lot of Teal Swan on YouTube. I loved that. Then later on, I just didn't. I'm like not. I'm more of a do it my own way than a like. I don't read. I've never read any like self-help books. I haven't read many novels either. I'm not like a big reader, even though books are like my everything. I love books, like the essence of books, and I like writing. It's like I feel more like a writer than a reader. Basically, it's like when I first awoke to spirituality, not like at the very beginning, but pretty soon after. I learned about psychology and healing trauma and processing, and I kind of like understood the groundwork, or like I got the equation, and once I'd had the equation of like how things work, of like processing things and understanding the self, then I like used that and just did it my own way, kind of thing. So that equated to a lot of just me, like I said, me and my brother expressing how we felt about like what emotions we currently had, and where that stemmed from. That was basically most of my healing at the start of, or yeah. And I get everything like progresses. It's hard to like pinpoint in the moment now, but that for me is the foundation of from to how I got to this me. Yeah, a lot of, I like psychology. It sounds so weird to say that though. I hate saying that. It's the label. I just really don't like labels, because it's like, I guess it's because the term psychology, it's like there's a whole collective around that, and I don't feel a part of that collective. Like, I did it through understanding in my own way, so it doesn't feel like, but that is like, yes, I'm not gonna finish that. I really need to pee right now, but I don't want to pause the video because then I'll have to edit it, and I don't want to do that, because I'll keep on talking. So I'm gonna just leave the camera on. You may hear the toilet flush. The toilet is just there. Did you hear it? Did you? My paper flew up. As you can't see that. Okay. Where were we? 1 hour 30, huh? I want to move the thing behind me one moment. I love drawing. I didn't say that. I used to suck at drawing, quote unquote. So I was like good at school. Apart from, wasn't great at PE. I was when I was younger, but in like secondary school, I like became really bad at running, especially. Sprinting in particular. I was okay at like more like badminton. We didn't have tennis courts in my school. Oh yeah, I speak Welsh, so I went to a Welsh school, but my brother doesn't speak Welsh and he went to an English school. He spoke Welsh fluently when he was small, but we lived in England at the start of our life. Like I said, my parents both speak Welsh. Like my dad is from Swansea in Wales, and my mum is a Welsh teacher. She speaks Welsh. Also, I just said that. Like on my dad's side, my grandma speaks Welsh, and on my mum's side, my granddad speaks Welsh. So they both spoke Welsh, and my brother. So even though we were in England, my brother spoke fluent Welsh until he was like, I don't know how old, but still like a small child. But then we went to school in England, and I didn't speak Welsh as a tiny child, and he lost his Welsh and could only understand it, and then later can't understand or speak it. And then when we moved to Wales, he was too old to join a Welsh school, so he went to English school, and I was young enough to go to Welsh school, so I went to Welsh school. So yeah, it was always kind of weird, like siblings go to the same school. And then when me and my brother talked about it, it's like, it's so weird that we went to like different schools. It just wouldn't have worked out the way it did if we'd have gone to the same school. That came from somewhere. Both parents speaking Welsh. I knew like tiny bits of Welsh when I was tiny. Well, Beth did as a child. I have memories of that. I also really wonder, it might just be like Cancer Mercury kind of thing, but I have like vivid memories of when I was tiny. Like I remember being a baby, and having like a really fluffy coat on and being in a pram pushchair thing. And I remember being in the room and like people looking at me. But that wasn't me, Anwen, that was Beth. So I kind of wonder if like I really held on to that memory because I'm a soul step-in. So it was like I don't know words for that, but just like, is it related to the fact that that wasn't me and I'm like in this body and I'm like attaching to the memories of this body? Food for thought. If anyone else resonates with being a soul walk-in, step-in, like, do you have a thing with memory? Oh yeah, I was moving this. I'm painting stuff. I have so many oracle decks down here, you can't really see, like, hairs. Like, I have lots of personalized, like, I create them, decks. And this is the current, like, so I have a box of like this size cards, and then I cut them into different sizes for different kinds of decks. So this is my current small animal deck. Let's get I feel like mousy. Animal decks, like a square size, and then for that to be able to add to the original size, for example, where is that? I have another deck somewhere. It's not that size. I can't even remember what that deck is. It's really recent. Oh my god. It's my bird deck. I forgot. Right? Yeah. So like animal deck, bird deck, and a cool bird box from the book that these images are from. Cover of the book. Yeah, and this is what flopped over, which is what made me want to talk about it. I haven't cut the like corners of this. These are just halved from the original size, and then I'll cut the corners to make them nice and even. Okay. Bit of Oracle deck talking to like cleanse the system, right? What was I talking about? Or what do I want to talk about now? Doesn't matter what I was talking about. Should I put my hair up? I keep messing with it. I kind of don't want to be. I like jumped in with the fact that I went to a Welsh school, but I don't remember why I was trying to say that. Oh, I said I was I was good in school, quote unquote good. Except for PE, which I was in set 2 for, and the rest I was in set 1 for. Apart from like art class and something else like wasn't graded. It was just like randomized classes. And I would have been in such a low grade if art if art class was graded. I hadn't found my style yet, and I bet my style wouldn't be well graded in schools anyway. But yeah, we were talking about me thinking I was bad at art, but I don't remember why that was. Gaslighting? I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't even like 100% fully understand gaslighting, the meaning of it, the like what it means. I'm like that with so many words, like unless I like quite well understand it, I feel like I don't understand it. I didn't explain that too well, but hey ho, that's fine. Just yeah, art is my like favorite thing, but I grew up in a family who talked about how our whole family was bad at art. So I just didn't do it. Or I did, even then I kind of did do it, but I just thought I was really bad. And I had more I didn't like drawing a lot of the time because I just felt so bad at it. But when I realized that and allowed myself to do it more, then eventually I came to really love it and find my own style and the way that I most love to do it. And now I draw every day, and just like all the time, like just earlier, like a random, if you open my notebook journal, yeah, like a page of just full drawing. Writing. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to see. Because if I was watching a video and someone showed like their journal, I would want to read it. And I don't want it to be read, but okay. 1 minute 38. I don't know. I'll probably, knowing me, even if it says something embarrassing, I'll just put it in anyway. To self-acceptance. It's just like if there's like a really detail that I don't want, then I will cut it out. So that is why I will check. Okay. It's just like names. I don't like using people's names. Okay. Where do we go from here, huh? I was fiddling with my Labradorite. I love this guy. But now I will fiddle with my citrine. The reason I'm like bent over is because it's showing. I guess I'll probably not show this anymore and just bring it up so I can feel more comfortable. Yeah. Hey, I can show you my decks more clearly. This is my mess of a side, my beautiful organized mess. Oh, see, this guy, I did have him like this, and it was way cooler of a lid, but it broke off. And I kept the thing because I might glue it back. That pile is my tapestries for sitting on when it's a bit wet outside. And my carving tools, because I like carving every now and then. This is a bird. Okay. It's still tilted. There we go. Now it's tilted in the other way. That's fine. Let's move you up a bit. Childhood. Huh? I'm annoyed because I was like getting at something. Was it? Oh, maybe I was explaining me and my brother. I don't remember where I was at and why I went back into the like way past. I feel like all this began because I was just trying to really like smallly like shoot in that me and my brother aren't currently talking, but we're not like not talking either. Like basically it was like the first time we stopped talking was not in peace, and then the second time I had found myself. Okay, this is where it came from, I think. Then I went into the whole enmeshment trail. The second when we spoke for the first time after ages, that time I had found a very peaceful state within myself. Like I was finally myself. Like I could feel myself. And I was terrified of losing that. And so I was really, really wary about starting talking again. I had just come out, well, not just, but I don't know time frame again, I don't know, but I remember it was probably a few months after me and I had broken up with my partner. Shall we talk about that then? Because that was a very, very similar feeling to leaving school for me, in that I thought that my life was heading in this direction, and yod moment suddenly, no, it's heading in this direction. So my partner, I thought that we both thought that we were like the one. We thought that we had found each other. We both had always like felt a soul. Like we knew we were searching for someone, and we thought it was each other. And then after like a year of being together, just under a year, I was gonna, like, my whole life was set in that direction then. I was gonna move to America and live with him, but luckily the paperwork, like, we hadn't like we were like sorting some other stuff out, but it wasn't we hadn't like really got it, the movement into motion kind of thing. There was some delay stuff. So what was I saying? Yeah, we both thought that we were gonna be together for life, and then after about just under the year, I started getting that feeling that
was quite similar to the one in Before Leaving School, which was just like, I know intuitively in my body that this isn't right. So one actually big moment in my mind of that, of realizing like he's not the one, was a really, really simple moment. I was in my bed over there, because we were long distance most of the time, apart from that 3 months that I said that I went to America that I was living with him for. I was in my bed, and I was, oh, this is okay. I had forgotten until I was gonna say it. No, it was 2 moments. Was it 2 moments? No, okay, I thought it was 2 because of, okay, this will make sense. I was watching a pick a card reading, and I hadn't watched a pick a card reading for like ages. During that relationship, I stopped doing oracle cards. Not completely, because come on. He was spiritual also. He had 2 decks, I believe. He had an astrology deck, and he had what's that deck called? It was the one I was so happy that he had because I got to use it. It's an animal one. A lot of people have it. It's like black and white. I can't remember if I think it was the tarot version, because there's like an oracle that's similar, but I don't know. But yeah, I had, even though he was spiritual also, it wasn't like in this, I guess he wasn't so enthused, dedicated as I was towards growth. He was, I guess it's difficult to explain, or I don't have the words now at least. So yeah, I had barely been watching pick a cards, though I love them. But this moment, I was in bed and I was watching a pick a card, and I don't believe it was a relationship one. It was just kind of, I don't know what it was about. I just remember we were on call together, because we were like 24/7 on video call, and I mean that quite literally. Like, we would sleep with the call on, video call on, and I remember being so conscious that I didn't like him being there while I was watching this pick a card. It felt like I want this to be private, and it was a feeling that he didn't understand this part of me, or it kind of really, really highlighted for me the fact that I didn't feel comfortable with him. I thought I felt really comfortable with him, because I'd kind of convinced myself that I did, but this really highlighted to me that, wow, this thing that I love, I don't want to share with him, or I just don't want him. It was like the reading was saying really spot on things for me, how I felt emotionally, and though I thought me and him shared like all of our emotions together, I did not want to share these ones. So it just put things in perspective, of how comfortable I truly felt around him. And I could recognize at this point, or like after about a week or a couple weeks, I think it was like a couple weeks, that I had felt this niggling feeling, and I would not look at it. I was so resistant towards it, because I thought that he was my everything, and I thought that I loved him. I loved him, and even when I left him, I still loved him. I actually still thought that he was, in my mind, not in my intuition, but in my mind, I still thought that he was my one. But I just knew that I knew that it wasn't my path. So that thing that I said earlier about, like, I can't remember the words I said, but basically, during that, watching that pick a card reading, I believe it was then, I had the image of, or maybe it was just like on my bed in a similar time. I think it was during the pick a card though. I had the image of a future partner of mine, or just me and another soul, watching Jujutsu Kaisen. And I've never watched that, but it was, it's an anime that was like on my plan to watch list. And I remember just the feeling of watching it together, and it made me feel like, oh, that's what being together is supposed to feel like. Or more than anything, it was like I remembered the soul that I had been connected with, all the, like, before that relationship with him. And speaking about it, I can speak about, like, the energy or the emotion more than at the time I was conscious of, I guess, because, like, right now I can say, like, it felt like a whole wash of relief, of feeling cleansed again, and it was like having been cleansed and remembering the one in my heart that I truly was seeking was truly the one that felt like the one to me. I don't believe that, like, everyone has a one, or that I don't, like, resonate with that label 100%. But it's like, I don't resonate with the one, but it's like I resonate with my one because of my personal experience with having felt a particular soul for a lot of my life. And for me that feels like, actually I don't want to label it, a soul that I love, that I have always felt like I will meet. Where do I go with this now? What was I saying? So basically, it might have been a couple of weeks that I had felt this niggling feeling and just not questioned the relationship. I did feel more and more like I want more space between us, me and him, but I didn't act on it. I still stayed, like, video call 24/7. Actually I think I might have taken a bit of more time to myself, a little bit maybe. But one time I do remember was the day that I broke up with him. I told him, like, I went on walks, because at this time Poppy was alive, so I would walk Poppy every day for like an hour or more, and I went for a walk. I think actually this time maybe it was, I don't think Poppy was there. I didn't take her for a walk. Maybe I did. I feel like I didn't take her on a walk. It was just me going on a walk. Anyway, I remember telling him that I was going for a walk, or that I wanted space. I think it was I wanted space, or time to myself, and because he was very anxious attachment style, it was really hard to say that because clearly he got very anxious about it. So then I went on my walk, and by the time I had finished the walk, I was like, wow, I'm really doing this, aren't I? Like, this is, like, I'm breaking up with him. This person that I love, that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Like, I thought that I was so lucky to have found my one at such a young age. Like, so soon in life. This was between the ages, so I met him in December, very late December, when I was 18, and then a year goes round. July is my birthday, so I turned 19 in America with him, and then come early December, poof, that's when it ended. So yeah, after that walk, I was ready to break up with him the same day. I remember it was like on the walk, I feel like I had like the morning to myself, and I like the morning and a bit of the afternoon. And it wasn't the entire morning, because I remember this being really funny to look back on, like, that we had even, like, the very morning, yeah, was it the same day? I'm almost sure this was the same day. There's possibility it was the day before, but I'm almost certain the very same day in the morning we had been on video call playing Elden Ring together. Like, we were still, like, on good terms. Because I didn't I felt so pressured all the time to be sharing everything. So, but I knew that a lot of my emotions would cause him a lot of pain. So any emotions that would cause him pain for me to express to him, I would just repress, not feel them myself. So it's like, if I don't feel them, then I'm not telling him about them. Because in the earlier relationship, I bucked up the courage to express feelings that I knew could potentially hurt him. Because we both said, like, we wanted to express even the hard emotions together, because, like, we want to work through them together. But upon doing that, he got so hurt, like, really near the beginning. Or it wasn't just near the beginning, because I tried this multiple times. I was kind of aware of the repression, or the I was aware that I found it really difficult to express all of my emotions, but I pushed myself to do it. But it kind of consistently made him feel so much pain that I just, it was really hard to do. Where now? I'm having the thought again, like, am I really gonna put this up? Burp. Okay, where else? I want to put it up though, because it's like, I really do feel like these experiences that weren't aligned with love but were flowing me in the direction of love from that one perspective that, you know, you're not always everything love. Hearing about them could provide some people with a lot of relief and clarity for their own situations, and a bunch of other stuff for in ways and for people that I don't know, and I mean, not people that I don't know, but I mean probably people that I don't know. But in ways that I can't think of myself, but could be loving for them. But more than that, it's just intuitive. Because one thing that I believe so very strongly is all in desire. Desire is just the pinnacle of love. Which is like the opposite of disappointment. Disappointment is like, I can't have my desire, and desire is I can have my desire. Desire is just feeling love, and disappointment is I can't have love. Seagull. My cacti looked like they moved then. I'm still like resistant to sharing other pieces of my life. Do I go for it or not? I guess I'll speak more about myself in that way. So I come from, I don't know who that is in the house. I live with my mum, like I said. I think is a builder. We have scaffolding outside right now. Yeah, all my houses, not all of them, but there always seems to be work on them. The reflection of that. Like, my dad was always building, changing the house in Woodside, in the third house, not the last house I lived in with his house, but that too. Just my dad did a lot of like work on the houses, and then with my mum in this house, she is getting work done a lot, and can't say that I care for it. But the other part of me is at peace with all. Am I putting this up? Yes. Oh. What do I talk about now? It feels like there's more to say. Like, if I'm putting this video up, it's like I'm talking about, I guess, I want to say like my trauma, or like my past, or myself. It's kind of I want to show you the inner workings of what has led me to where I am now. So I guess more like abstractly or simpler put is, I used to be extremely anxious and feeling like everything was not okay, and I wanted to hide. I was like the most uncomfortable on stage, I actually don't really feel but I would have used to, and that's the whole point, that I'm very confident in myself now, at least compared to where I've come from. Yes. Yeah, I used to get stomach, like in the solar plexus, not like lower than that, like right here, just like in pain, in particular every morning on the school bus. And I used to volunteer in our village shop in the third house, which is like the center of my life. Like a lot of life is that house. It's called Woodside because we live by Wentwood, which most grateful for. One of the things I'm most grateful for in this life, that we lived by that woods. Yes. And it was really close to, like, walking distance, so I do loads of walks there. When I was walking, well, at one point I was walking Bonnie, Tinkerbell and Poppy all at once there. What was I saying? Confidence. Belly hurt. Oh, in that house, for a small period of time, I was volunteering, a very small period of time, I was volunteering in the village shop, which is voluntarily run. It was like a village of old people, and I loved that because I resonated more with elderly folk than people my age. So I'd like walk Tinkerbell to the park, and speak with all the folk with their dogs. Yeah, I was far more confident, like, outside of school. Actually, no, that's not. I don't know if that's true. I think it like melded into everything. Belly. Oh yeah, so much so with the belly that I had, and my this is good, but this is hard. Yeah, that my belly, I couldn't handle a lot of fruits, so I had to stop eating apples. Apples are like my favorite fruit. I remember there being a time where I couldn't eat grapes, apples, raisins, dates, oranges even, and I remember pears, no, watermelon, no, but it's basically sugar, like fructose. Sugar wasn't good for my belly either. But bananas were okay. Even though now, like, a banana smoothie is like the thing that is most like on the verge of not being okay of all the foods. Peanut butter banana smoothie, which is my favorite smoothie. It got harder for me to speak because the bathroom is right there. My mum went to the bathroom, and I still don't really like speaking on camera when she, or yeah, I guess she can hear the words I'm saying, because sometimes you can like hear quite well from just out there. which has happened a lot in doing pick a cards. I've like pushed through fear of speaking. But I also did realize, I'm just remembering now, that I'm still not 100% on that, actually. Let's get cards for that. On whether it's healthiest to just continue speaking. Yeah, okay, I see it. I was gonna say if it's healthiest to continue speaking because the knowing that like everything is okay and it's my own expression is important to me. It doesn't matter what she thinks. And then the other side to that was actually it is okay to want to be more private. It's okay to not be sharing all of myself. Which, saying that now, makes me question again the answer, which I thought was, well, if everything is okay, if I fully accept myself, then it doesn't matter what she thinks. Which is the truth, even though then I questioned whether that was true, because saying it aloud just sounded like, you know, enmeshment residue, we'll call it that. I like that. I don't remember what it was anymore. Queen of Wands, confidence. And Queen of Swords. Oh, that's kind of the both sides, isn't it? Like, it is. I'm not sure whether to see Queen of Swords like protecting yourself. Yeah, there's two forms of protection that I'm like in between. Whether it's protection by not speaking and by keeping this like close to my chest and not having other people hear it that I don't want to hear it, or protecting myself by not allowing those external influences to influence me and to stand within my own grounded, centered self. So yeah, let's get confirmation. Let's get that exact situation for me and apply it to you if it applies in the ways that you know that it might. My eyes are starting to get real tired now. And I want to drink. Oh yeah, okay. When Mum is upstairs and goes to where she can hear, shall I stop speaking? Shall I not allow it to be heard? Or shall I shall I express myself? It feels so clear, like, or shall I express myself? Which is what I was just saying earlier of, should I hide? Or, I mean, I was saying how I used to hide and then I've become confident, or at least more than I used to. So when I said that, or should I express myself, it feels pretty clear that that is the love-aligned one. Ace of Swords. It's kind of funny. It's like you just had the revelation. Listen to what your mind just told you. Okay, yeah. Ten of Swords cut at the back. Yeah, I'm currently going through, like, I'm on the brink of being very centered in self. But, and this is, I'm clearing, like, I guess, those final drops of residue is what it feels like. at least until this next level of being in self. Okay. Okay, what do you want about a world? I feel like it's getting close to closing this off. But I feel like I didn't word anything very clearly. It's like this whole video could have been condensed into like 20 minutes worth, or like half an hour. I could have written out the points. But the whole point is that, or at least part of it is that I didn't feel confident in sharing. So, for example, with some of the labels I used, I really didn't want to say them. Because it just gives such a distorted view. I feel like it puts people in boxes, and I hate that. But it does describe, it does just, okay, breathe. The thing I don't like about it is from fear still. Because the truth is that I know that my perspective is of love. That although, like, for example, it's like logic. I was hurt. My parents did hurt. It's like I don't like saying my parents hurt me, which is like the whole trauma of me feeling like I shouldn't feel the way I do, or that I shouldn't feel bad about my childhood, or that it's just like an example is like I say I don't want to go to church, and so we're like, church was not a big part of my childhood is what it feels like. It's just so much younger years, but it's a really good example. I feel like I don't want to go to church, and then being convinced, it's like not just saying that you have to go, but it's and therefore your emotions low battery, and therefore saying your emotions aren't important, but it's saying being told mind blank. It's being told that like it's not that bad, like being reinforced that my feelings aren't the truth of it. Like I say something is difficult for me, and then being told that this thing that is difficult for me isn't, like, that thing doesn't make you feel difficulty. So then I feel like my feelings aren't correct. Yeah, that's basically it. So another good chunk of stuff for me has been I know that I love you, but other people telling me that I don't. Is that it? I don't know about that. My mind is going so blank right now. And it's going back to, I'm not putting this video up, am I? Where is that emotion coming from? Could it possibly be that I don't feel that this state of being is okay? Well, it is okay. But also, like, it's okay. Not just, like, my little Pisces moon needs more gentleness than, it's okay, fire! I like both. Um, okay, yeah, we'll go back to why I don't like using labels is because I don't like pointing out to people that they've done something that has hurt me, because they view that, like the people that I've associated with, vibrated in resonance with, have then felt like I'm saying that they're wrong, whereas I'm just saying the truth of, I feel this emotion because of this thing that you've done, and then I would get told, or I could feel that they thought that it was me not I can't see that part. When I keep trying to explain it in a certain way and it's just not coming through that way. Okay, so how do I want to explain it? It's basically the feeling for me of, I shouldn't say things that hurt anyone, even if it's true. And even if my intention isn't, I want to hurt you. Like, I can't say anymore. Are we finishing here? I feel like I've basically kind of explained it. I feel like the main thing to say was oh, and I'm not speaking with my dad right now. But that's over with, done with now. And my mum knows that when I leave this house, then I won't be speaking with her either. But we're on good terms. Just depends on what your definition of good is. Because she's spiritual. When my brother introduced me to auras, he was also introducing my mum, so we like awoke at the same time. But then from there, kind of different paths. So yeah, although she's invested in growth and love, also it's a lot harder for her. And but she's very open-minded, so I've spoken a lot with her. But yeah, things with, I don't think I fully explained that. Things with her have been quite up and down. I would go through phases of like reopening to her and then sharing myself, and then after feeling like I hated that I did that, and closing off completely again. For a long time it was really hard to live with my parents. It was this constant within myself of both, I want to be shut off from them, I don't want their energy near me, and that kind of put me in kind of a always being like upset around them, or like angry around them. Not angry, just closed off. It was closed offness, and that had me question my own love, because they viewed that as very unloving. To me, it was self-protection, which was loving, and I'd never intended any ill towards them. I loved them, but that had me question myself a lot again too. For a lot of my journey, I've been realizing how I'm not wrong. And I mean that more in the wrong way, as in I don't know how to put that. I wasn't saying I'm not wrong in like nothing can be wrong. I mean, like, if we're using right and wrong, it felt like I've been realizing that I'm not wrong in that way. In that, yeah, I guess in that right is loving. So I've like, for example, with that self-protection energy, of it's okay to not be super happy, or like it's okay to not share every emotion with those that you don't want to. See, this is having me question that thing again of what is self-protection. And that Queen of Swords card at the back of the deck really has me questioning, like, yeah, okay, that's it. So, you know, it's time to protect yourself in that way of like withdrawing, not sharing, not having other people hear you, for example, in my case. You know that that is needed when you feel like you have a part of you to protect. But the Queen of Wands more comes into play when you actually recognize that you are enough, and that you have that confidence within yourself to the degree where there's nothing to protect because you're okay. It's when you feel that there's not something okay that then needs protecting, and that's okay. If you're in that state of vulnerability, you can protect that. But for me, the goal would be to then bring myself eventually to that state of I'm okay. I actually feel okay, and I don't feel the need to protect myself. Okay, that's it. It's like the answer is both of them, to protect or not to protect, but just in different cases. And it feels like the need to protect comes from the insecurity when you're still not feeling fully within yourself, and not to protect is when you're okay. Where did that come from? Oh yeah, how I felt like I used to feel a lot like I felt bad for being non-open, like jovial around my parents, and it was hard to live with them because I really didn't like their energy. But now I'm fine, because it's like, I mean, I don't live with my dad, but for my mum, I feel a sense of okayness within my body. And it, for me, I resonate with it being a sense of confidence. My solar plexus has been like the chakra for me. Even though root has been very strong too, but I don't know, it just does not hold the same level of resonance as solar plexus has for me. Yeah, so it's like when that was weak, everything about not nice energy, like it really hurt in my body to be around that. But having confidence, which is to say value in self, recognition of self, having the self. Oh yeah, because my whole thing has been like not having a self, enmeshment. So having my own self, my own ego, has been my journey. So now it finally feels like living anywhere is just okay. It's like, I mean, clearly not fully from earlier, but so incredibly much that I don't even care about an emotion that pops up that small. I mean, I do very much care because I don't want to just settle it. I'm comfortable now. I want to dive deep within the alignment of self. But yeah, it wasn't always easy living with my parents, but now it is. And across that journey of non-easy, it has been, has had ups and downs, like speaking with my mum, not speaking with my mum, being in different areas. I was always more like okay with my dad, because my dad's whole thing is that he doesn't overstep usually. Whereas my mum's energy, even if it's not like practically, is always like, let me into your life, let me into your life, let me into your life. Whereas my dad is more like a hidden, like, I'm not gonna impose. Apart from when I really hurt my mum by not speaking with her, and my dad got angry at that, and even so that was a big moment for me actually, or at least it really hit me, because my dad had always, he's a Pisces moon too. I'd always felt like a level of like an emotion, very like my emotions were safe with him, even though we didn't like express emotions together. I always just felt that energy of connectedness. This was a moment where it's like, oh my god, my emotions are not safe here. Or it just really hurt. I guess this is still a pain point. Expressing stuff to others is cool, because even when I've expressed this alone, it just doesn't have this, it didn't have this effect. Yeah, so when I was in a period of not speaking with my mum, I remember going in the car with my dad, and it was a couple of times that my dad done something similar, but the other time I was with my brother in his room. I spent a lot of time in my brother's room, like we would just play games and speak. Not just always games, but But my brother, so I'm a Saturn sun, Saturn conjunct sun, and my brother has a lot of like Capricorn placements, like 10th house moon. And we're both very like keep going, strive, but it had like shifted into spirituality, so we'd always be like, let's keep going, let's release more. Which I'm very grateful for, because I would not have released so much if I didn't have my beloved Saturn. But I would also have less to really, it's all just a reflection in astrology. It doesn't denote something, but it also, 100% does. It's just both. That will make sense for some people. All of my words will make sense for some people. My phone is on low battery. I feel like I should plug it in, but shall I change position? I guess I can do that. Okay, this might work. Burp. Saying the word burp while burping was kind of funny. Okay, this is the position you're getting. Hey, you can see my... Can you see my little buddy? You can see my buddy. And my other buddy. And my loads of... I don't know how many crystals you can see there, but this is my crystal shelf. Oh yeah, my dad. So yeah, he'd always like not really been involved, I guess. I mean, he was. I loved my dad. My dad's so funny. See, I've always had the mindset of like, my dad is the best dad in the world and my mum is the best mum in the world. And I still love them both, and I still like feel like I'm very, very grateful for both of them. But also trauma exists. And also just like, even if it's not trauma, they're just not the people I want to spend my life with around, because I like being very particular about who is close with me, who I live my life with. Yeah, it's like, for me, I'm very content with myself. My own life is good, so if someone else is going to be in my life, they have to make it even better, or at least equal amount of good. And my parents are just not one of those people. Oh yeah, my dad. Yeah, so during that time that I had clearly hurt my mum by not speaking with her, I was in the car with my dad, and I don't even remember the words he said. See, Cancer, Mercury, while they may have like, where they may be known for like holding memories, it's like, it's emotional memories. I remember the feeling. My dad just told me, it was like one time in life where he like put his foot down, kind of thing, or like he spoke up about, I don't know, it felt like he had authority, he placed himself as having authority, whereas my mum had always been more of the authority figure feeling. Like my moon in Pisces feels more like dad, and my Saturn feels more like my mum. Maybe there's like, don't need to say anything more about that, other than he made me cry in the car. And yeah, he made me cry in the car, and then he told me that it was a feeling of, you deserve that. Like I know it's hard to hear, but you needed to hear that. Which just was really hard for me because I felt like I was safe with him. I guess it felt like like I may not be safe expressing my emotions with my mum, but even though we never did, like I felt like it was safe to express my emotions with my dad. But this moment was like, like fuck, like not safe here either. So I can't help kept that in my mind, because I'm very like forgiving, so, and that has got me in trouble because not like trouble, but what trouble, because I've repeated the same things of like opening up again to people who don't know how to love. So it's like a lot my parents showed me that it wasn't safe for me to be vulnerable with them. But I'd realize that, and then I would unrealize it, and then I'd realize it again. Journey of realization has been, you know, up and down. Rather than up and down, I kind of more like spiral, because it's like you don't forget the first time and redo the same thing. It's like you're like, we're not that dumb. It's like we go around in spirals and we've reached another point, and where we think that, okay, from here it is safe, and then it's like, no, it's not safe from there either, and it's like, oh, but from here it's safe, right? And then, you know, you usually with enough gone round the spiral, then you form new, clearer perspectives. No water left. There's a drip. There's a dribble. I don't know if the camera would have seen that, but I'm dribbled. Okay. To wash off the tears. Oh, yes, I mean, I didn't really cry much. I feel like a couple of droplets came out. I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we'll be able to tell that thing earlier I said of if I still look like I cry after crying, but it doesn't count. Plus I'm tired anyway, so it will probably be melding into tiredness and crying. But I feel more refreshed, so I don't know. This crystal. See, the phone is charging now, so I could keep going. It's almost at 2:44. It was at 2:43:44. That's quite long. I like this. You know what this feels like? It feels like I am, I know I already said this, but like cleansing the final bits of residue. Like I said, like I thought I was over that, or that thing with my dad, but it's like expressing it helped me release more. and it's called, I had a clearer view of saying that. Yeah. I'm curious how I would be doing this releasing, or like how that would look. Like, for example, how long it would take me to release this if I weren't expressing it to others, because like with the thing with my dad, it's like saying that when I'm alone didn't have the same trigger as it did with sharing that with others. I don't know, just interesting. Because it feels so right that I'm doing it in this space. This being like, it feels like a final cleanse. Come on, little teardrops. Come on, situations. Express and cry about, or just express and release. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't speak too much about my brother. Me and him, even though we're not speaking now, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like we've both agreed. So the first time we stopped talking was non-peaceful. I feel like I tried to get at this part so many times. First time was not peaceful. Second time, I don't remember, but I think it was peaceful, not speaking. And then I don't remember the second time at all. Anyway, where we're at now, actually when Poppy died, that was a very big moment that I've written about in my good old Oracle deck that one day will become available to others. When Poppy died, which was the day after I finished, basically the day after I finished creating that deck, very powerful deck. I was living in this house with my mum, and Poppy was living with my dad, with my brother in that house. And my dad was away on a maybe business trip, or maybe he was just away with his partner. If you hadn't got the gist, my parents are separated. Which is a cool thing in and of itself. A fun little tidbit, I guess. Me and my brother both were actually happy when they separated, and I just think it's cool because like most people are like they find it really hard when their parents separate, but for us it was better because it was like finally you're like admitting that you're not good together. Because they'd bicker, which again later on I also kind of saw like, hey, like, okay, so many things to say. It's like, for me, whenever I see my own trauma, or like where it's come from, it's really relieving, because I still have that part within me that feels like I shouldn't feel the way I do. So it's like proof that I am traumatized. It's like, to me, it's like the world tells me you're not traumatized, and I still hate that word, but still I'm just gonna use it. You're not traumatized, and then I find evidence like, but this, and then that makes me feel like, oh, I'm not insane. Like, my childhood really wasn't in love, pure love, because this is not what love is. It's relieving to me because it's like, oh yeah, see, I was right to feel the way I feel. Which in this case was like, I'd see and or recognize like, wait, isn't it more natural to feel bad or pain, or just it to not shouldn't it not feel great for my parents to separate? In other words, like, there's something going on there. Yeah. Okay. What was I saying before that? Now I want to hold my black tourmaline. My friends. All of my crystal friends joining me. I don't remember what. Oh, Poppy. When Poppy died, she was only 7 years old. So when my brother texted my mum to say that she was acting weird, like she's ill, and my dad was away at the time, like it could not have, it didn't need to be something serious, because like presumably not, since she's only 7. But I pulled cards for it and like just felt into the energy, and it was like, she's gonna die. Yeah, I didn't believe it at first. So at first I was like, nah, it's just like a blip. She'll be back. But then I like really sat with the energy. I was like, no. This be pretty clearly saying death. I remember using this deck. I remember some of the cards. What was it? I feel like alchemy might have come up. I was like, yes. What is it? It was maybe change feels like one. Maybe Gaia came up, and it just felt like returning to the earth. There's one that I'm looking for in particular. Yeah, this one. It's like, thanks for being obvious with it. Transition came up. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with grace and ease. So yeah. Oh, maybe, I feel like, oh yeah, soul time. You gotta laugh at it, right? It's like, it's her soul's time. It's time for her to soul time now, like, as opposed to like body time. Not time to be just the soul. What was I saying about that? Anyway, yeah, me and my mum decided to drive over, and then she died that night. And that, when the three of us, so none of us had been talking. Like, me and my mum weren't talking, although we were living together, and me and my brother weren't talking, and my brother and my mum weren't talking either, but we ended up all talking. I don't mean like having conversations and like opening up. And then from there, me and my brother kind of just decided, like, let's yes, I will express that in a bit. There's like stuff that I haven't even expressed to him that I'm gonna express. But that's fine. I haven't expressed them because they haven't come up to express, and I don't want to express them deliberately. And if he sees this, then so be it. It's like this is like real emotion. I'm not very good at being emotionally vulnerable and like expressing the way I feel when I can recognize that that's not of like the highest to be in, because it's like I always like I have a judgment around things that aren't of like highest love. So when I'm expressing stuff like anger, I feel like I shouldn't be. Like, I have a judgment towards it. Like, yeah, that's it basically. Where was I going with the thing before? I'm genuine. I know this is gonna get annoying to hear, but I'm genuinely unsure or curious. I'm genuinely curious if I'll put this video up. I'm sure I will. I don't remember what I was saying. And this is gonna be the test if you can hear. And I don't remember what my stance on that is. Yeah, it's that vulnerability, because I feel vulnerable right now, so I feel more okay with protecting that vulnerability. But actually right now it's fine to keep speaking. If there's anything to keep speaking about. Brother Atashi no Oni-chan. Something. Oh, yeah, so where we're at currently is basically like after Poppy died and we had that speaking a ton, we both agreed, like, let's just see how it flows. We used to message a lot also, especially when I was living here and he was living with my dad's, during this short periods of time there where we were speaking and I was here and he was there. But I'm losing my train of thought so much. Yeah, basically we both agreed, like, if it flows, it flows. We'll just see how things kind of work out, and yeah, neither of us have asked for the others to start messaging again, but we have. He's talking with my mum again, so he has come to this house a few times, and not long ago I went on a walk with my mum and my brother, and we like spoke all the walk. It feels obvious, but it's like, I don't know. Which was fun. We went to the beach with Bonnie. But it's cool because it felt like it is safe for me to do this because in the past I wouldn't have felt safe. But I felt safe doing it because I was with my power in that doing this doesn't mean that I have to like have a strong relationship with them, and it's kind of like this doesn't I'm going because I feel like going. It all felt very intuitive. There's so much around all of this that just like beginning speaking when we were all with Poppy, it just felt right. And I still don't have like full clarity on that either. There was another time about, I don't know how long, a few months ago, where my mum was sat outside and in the garden, and I came back from a walk, and stuff had just been done on the house, and I was leaving for that. Actually, it's slightly different, but basically I left the house because people were coming, and I didn't want to be here for that. And then when I came back, I asked her about what happened, and then decided to stay sat with her outside, and we like spoke for ages. And when we speak, it's when I say that, it's always like spiritual stuff, because that's the only thing my life consists of. I just mean like not spiritual stuff, it's like you can't really define that, but I mean with that essence. Yeah, and that was when I told her that when I'm leaving I won't want to speak with her. But it's like the space we were holding felt so loving, and like I was helping her tap into her spirit guides, and we were talking about childhood wounds and you know, spiritual stuff. I gave her my unicorn deck, which again felt so intuitive. It was like it felt so significant because it felt like, yeah, I'm gonna be leaving this house. Like or like more like I'm gonna be leaving her. It felt like a final goodbye present. And I still don't fully understand why for me, because for her it seems very clear. Like she even said during the talk, like had it felt like I was preparing her, like preparing her for me leaving, because that's going to be really difficult for her, even though like we don't speak really. It's like just my presence within her life. My energy is around, and it's more like she has access to me, whereas if I'm gone like completely, like forever kind of feeling, till the next life. At least physically, you know. Our energies, every energy in the world is always connected, but you know the way I mean. I'm thinking now my voice must be going so like in different volumes, especially from different places. Yeah, so it's like it felt like it, like, get it for her, that happened for her to prepare her, because like it would have been, yeah, too very hard. Even though I'd said I didn't want to speak with her like indefinitely before. Anyway, the energy was very different, clearly, and it had been extremely painful the first time for her anyway. Yeah, so for me, because it was so intuitively done too, because my mind, or like a part of me, feels like, no, it was like I was doing it for her. And the going on the walk with my brother and mum and Bonnie felt so intuitive too, and I felt like I helped my brother with a lot then too. And he made, just I felt like I helped energetically a lot with both of them. Both times. Or each time, because it felt quite similar with the time with Poppy, when Poppy died also. These like moments, the days or like periods of openness, it felt like, I don't know, it felt right and it felt good to me. It didn't feel invasive like it used to, and I didn't regret it. Well, I'm not sure about the opening to Poppy one. No, yeah, there was. It's not. Yeah, it didn't have. I didn't. Maybe I've had brief periods of regret, but it's always recentered to know, like, it felt like a good space. It felt intuitively right. I don't know if maybe helping them move on is just helping me get to a space where I am happier moving on too. Because although my mind doesn't like it, I think, I don't even know. I presume I've still had resistances to moving on also. That's the thing, I don't feel like I have though. I used to. Like the first time I went to stop speaking with my mum, that was really hard, and not just from the like how she'll receive it. Well, actually, maybe that was the main thing that time, but for me, when I decided to reconnect with her, that was from a space of like, I miss her, and like for me, like, I wanted reconnection. Even that I'm not 100% on, because I had recently got into that first relationship, and he encouraged that, and he judged me for not speaking with my mum. He had kind of the opposite trauma of, whereas my mum was overbearing, his mum wasn't wasn't present enough. So like, me not speaking with, me being the one to choose not to, have my mum in my life was triggering for him, because it's like he didn't even get the chance. He didn't get the choice. He wanted his mum in his life, but she hadn't wanted that. So that caused him pain, which again I feel like could have been a strong reason why I felt like reconnecting, which I feel like that is a part of it, but then it's also like my only like but-ness comes from the fact that everything has felt so right, and like even if I did, yeah, that's the thing, it's like while it wasn't necessarily healthy for me to reconnect with my mum at the time, it was my path, the path that I had as a soul wanted to walk. That's what I feel like, because like living here is 100% better than, not 100%, but so much better than living at my dad's house. Just the energy of this space, it feels like this is more, I have myself, I have more freedom in this area. And just everything that has come from living in this house feels very right, relevant, necessary, a part of my journey. So yeah, there's been a lot of intuitive decisions that I've made that haven't necessarily felt like they made sense, but intuitively I knew that was the path that I wanted to walk. That was the path I was guided to walk, which is to say wanted. I'm just observing myself now. I'm thinking like, it's interesting how the way I'm expressing all of this feels in like a sad kind of a way, or like a hurt from, it feels, yeah, it feels like from a hurt space more than from, or like it feels melancholic, not that I really know what that word means, but it feels that way, as opposed to like a more detached way. Yeah. I guess a lot of people will wonder why I didn't leave the houses, why I didn't like get a job and or set up my own business, like why I didn't essentially like create money to leave and live in my own house. And the reason is because it didn't feel right. That was actually my like biggest trigger for a very long time, my biggest like insecurity. It's like, no matter how confident in my spirituality, I guess I'll say, I got, that had always been a sore point for me, because I so desperately wanted out for a long time. I didn't want to be where I was. I wanted to be in my own place. I wanted independence, and I really didn't like depending on my parents. But all the while I was not willing to lower my standards of doing something that didn't feel right, didn't feel like myself. I would get back and forth with this, with like, how much do you wait, like quote unquote wait, with that what I was speaking about earlier actually. How much do you flow with the universe and have patience, and how much do you take the reins yourself? So I would have like bursts of kind of I can't wait anymore, or it was coming from that state of like I just want to be out of here, but I want to be gentler with myself, or more understanding of, actually it was more of like I really am unsure of, it was like lack of trust, of intuition, and it was of states of being that had me want to make sure I was following what was in alignment and not just keeping myself stuck out of fear. I kept coming to this like wonderment of, wait, what if I'm like holding the key and just not putting it in, kind of thing? Like, what if I could just work to get out? So I'd question a lot, like, should I just do readings? Because like I could, there were practical steps that I could take, like I could do readings and make money. And I got close to starting up again, like I used to do readings at the start when I was tiny. Feels like tiny anyway. But I would always fall back on this doesn't feel right. It's not intuitively where I feel drawn, and then. But it was always. But even when I would fall back on the, I'll flow with the divine. I'll flow with my path, with my intuition. I'll be led. I still wouldn't be able to fully relax. Like, I'd always be trying to, okay, if I'm not doing external shifts, let's internally shift. And it's an interesting like dichotomy of how much do you work in order to not work? Like, how much do you internally strive for peace, and how much do you decide that you are already at peace? That kind of thing. Like, how much am I playing because it is safe to play, and how much am I playing because I'm avoiding the feelings I have? So anyway, kind of recently, or again, time, I'm not good at keeping time frame. I don't work, I don't go to school, I don't have a need for spit. I don't have a need for knowing the day or the date or keeping time frames and checking my mind. Although actually today is the 24th, I believe, because I do keep a dream journal. So I do keep the date in that, usually. I had the coolest dream last night. It was the first dream in maybe forever, or a long time, where it's like the focus was on the landscape and it felt like an adventure. It was like I saw the coolest images, because usually my dreams are more mundane than that. Although, you know what, actually, I've had some pretty cool dreams. Like the I think it was the very night before Poppy died. I like dreamt about jumping through a portal and like crystals and really cool stuff. Dates. Oh yeah, so yeah, basically that's why I don't that's why I still live with my mum, because this is where I feel intuitively that is right for me to be. Yeah, and recently, or for a while now, I'm not sure how long, I've been resting into this state of I can live here. I can settle myself down in a way. It's like not fully set. I don't know. The word settling down is weird, but it's like I can happily live here. You know what it is? It was me finally deciding that I'm choosing to live here. Like I want to be here. Because there was also always this desire to be elsewhere, I felt like I could never really claim that I was choosing to be here, because actually in my mind I was like, well, if I had a choice I would be somewhere else. But actually I could be somewhere else. I could be walking down the street, I could be doing workaways, I could be working to get out, I could be somewhere else, I could be at my dad's, I could, there's so many choices of where I could be, but I want to be here. I'm choosing to be here because this is what feels good to me. This is where I divinely feel is of alignment for me, and that is the way I love to live life, and so I'm choosing here. So that was a big realization for me. Which just took like a weight off my shoulders, and gave so much, like I can finally feel less insecure, because there was always this like worry of people seeing that part of myself, because it kind of felt like the one flaw in my plan. It's like I felt more secure about, I guess, spirituality, my spirituality. I'd come to a lot of wisdom, from my perspective of wisdom, in a lot of areas of life. But that was like it felt like my, if you're so wise, then why this? And I didn't like looking at it, because I didn't like looking at it, but I did look at it often, but I could never find the solution to it until divine timing plays and I realized. Another cool realization I've had as of late is just a whole new perspective on movement, in that life is always moving, and thus you don't need to always be searching for internal shifts to make, because naturally that is the progression of self. That is the way the universe flows, is through expansion. So whether, like, regardless of what you're doing, you're expanding. In other words, you can, it gave me more of a like headrest to rely on, of I can allow epiphanies to come to me. Not that you can really search for epiphanies, but you kind of can. Yeah, you totally can. Kind of. Yeah, that's just been a cool realization as of late. hardly slept the night before. And I wonder if that could have played into having such a cool dream last night. It's like I built up all the energy, and then when I finally got to sleep, it was like wang, 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 wang. I wonder what time it is by now. Time? I mean, I don't know time ever. Time during the day is different. I guess a main point that I want to make is with not all, I wouldn't say there's been enough for it to be all, but with the close relationships I've had, it's like my mind wants to say that we were really, really close. Like for my mum with mum, brother, and best friend and first partner. Yeah, it's those ones, full stop. My mind wants to say we were really, really close, but actually it was only ever like me close to them. They never really saw my emotions. Even if like I'd express them, it's like it somehow didn't feel ever like they saw me. And also I hardly ever did. It's like, it's like which emotions did I express? Yeah. So now, actually imagining having a relationship with someone where it's like you're on the same wavelength, the same, it's not like over giving and over receiving, it's two equal give and receiving. It's such a cool feeling. It's like I never used to understand that was possible. So tapping into that feeling is super cool. Because it is that, it's like the value is so much in the realization of it, like, oh, I can have that, like that. It's more like, it's not even I can have that, it's like, well, it is, but what I want to say more is like that exists. Because that goes with what I was saying before of like, usually, like, especially with, I feel like especially with, oh, maybe not, I don't know. I was gonna say especially with like psychological traumas, or traumas. I don't know why I hate that word. I will think about that sometime, probably. Because like, surely it's both. I feel it is both, isn't it? It's any kind of trauma, it's physical or emotional, psychological, whatever. You think it's normal, probably, and then when you have the realization, or you get introduced to other ways of being, it's like, whoa, that's cool. haven't spoken about the soul that I have felt for a long time, and now I haven't really spoken about him. That's like the one part and the coolest part of my journey, I would say. But I think that's something I'm gonna keep to myself. Probably. What hold this one? Two and this one. Although I did share a lot of it within a single reading somewhere. So that can be found. I might be about ready to go now. The lack of sleep is catching up to mine eyes, to mine body. And I want water. But actually neither of those things, those are just random excuses. Do I feel ready to leave? I feel so much energy of releasing. It's the energy of crying, but I don't think I will. I might. You know, the reason this is, like, the core of what all of this is just me being able to express this is me finally admitting the journey I've been on. Or why it all happened. Like, seeing that truth, that actually all of that was difficult, and I did feel a lot of pain, and I did transform through that. As opposed to me always wanting to brush it off. Yeah. I guess it's just me admitting that the beginning of life hasn't been a child's playful, freeing, like non-logical, non-needing to hyper-analyze themselves to release themselves from binds of fear. Just admitting that is the truth. And I'm grateful for it all. And yeah, just this space I'm very grateful for too, because I can see it. I can see that for me this takes courage, because it is it's that feeling of admitting that I wasn't wrong, admitting that I was hurt, and that wasn't of love in one way. I also never mentioned how learning like clairaudience, for example, I learned that like that was not something that I wasn't always spiritual. Like I remember in primary school thinking that like psychics were and oracles, like oracle readers, I thought that they were really I thought they were just naive. I thought that some of them probably do it to like exploit and to out of like malevolence, and then the others, I thought that there's probably a lot of them who are just like naive, and they think that they think that what they're doing is true, but it's not. So like I went from being Christian to, well, I guess like it's weird to say that because it's not like I identified with that ever. I was very young at that age. But then I went to I don't know labels. Didn't believe in anything, like that non-magic phase. To now, which I will say is magic, the magic phase. But when I learned about like empaths, that label, it was cool because I can't see it clearly. So I guess I'll say it this way, like a lot of my senses, like I have developed a lot. I have not always been this in touch with my emotions, in fact, and senses and psychicness, that kind of thing. Ethereality. Spirituality. That is something that I learned, and that came over time of just kind of looking in that area, I guess, energetically. Practice. And so many other ways of explaining why, but there we go. What was I going to say? Something about empathy. I mean, not empathy, but, well, yeah, empathy. Yeah, so I've always been like in tune with people emotionally. Like I can read you very like easily from a child, because like that enmeshment of like for safety, I developed that that was awoken within me. At least that's part of the reason. But I didn't understand that was empathy. I just thought that I'm a people person kind of thing. And it's over time that I've come to realize just how much like I actually feel the like emotion within my body that you are feeling. Like I'm feeling your emotion. And to me, I just see that as like I always kind of had that, but not to the degree that I have it now. I love you. Putting my Pisces, not my Pisces, my Cetus. It's Cetus, not Pisces. My Cetus moon, my little Cetus moon. It's more like a little Pisces moon and a cool Cetus on the internet. It's interesting. It's an interesting feeling. I'm making it out to be a way bigger deal than it is, though. I feel quiche. I haven't had quiche for years. I used to hate quiche. Isn't quiche like eggs? Because I feel like the brief period that I was eating eggs, I feel like the period that I liked quiches was very brief. Probably because it has eggs in. So it's like, didn't like quiche. Liked quiche, can't eat quiche. I mean, chose not to. I want to hold my obsidian. Where are you gone? Back tourmaline. Bye bye. There you are. Ow. What do now? Carry on? Carry on? This is like almost 4 hours. 43, 44 again. I looked up and I looked up when it was 2. It was 2, right? Or was it even the 1? I feel like it was when it was 2, 43, 44. Doogie doogie doo. Go. I wonder what all the states of being, the people, or you beings watching this are in. Like, I'm just wondering how many are in like a similar state to me right now. Or how many. I just got an image of someone like eating like Doritos or something on the couch. I wonder who that is. I see you. I don't eat Doritos. I even like kind of tasted it. my in tuneness with magic has been. Oh, I saw 45, 44 that time. Not 44, 44. I think that's the only reason I started speaking then. So I'd see that. I was just gonna say that my in tuneness with magic has been increasing as of late in like a Kundalini awakening kind of a way. I haven't looked up Kundalini awakening to know enough about how much I resonate with that term. But I will say fire! And that all came from the fact that I saw a sparkle of energy over there. And I've been seeing that like clairvoyance in like that way a lot more recently. Oh, I guess that's a really good one to go with next if we're going with healing. Okay, this is like, you know how I said how like my biggest trigger, or like my biggest like, oh, but this, was the fact that I still live with my parents, and that that choice of like I didn't feel like it was just that whole thing. It was like the mess, the flaw in my plan, that thing. The other thing, I've had a huge thing around my body. So I have like Chiron in first house, which explains it quite well to me. Part of the whole thing with my mum was that she really valued my body. So she would like dressing me up in really nice clothes, and I remember when I was younger, she would always put my hair behind my ear. I didn't like it, but it got, and I would take it off, but it got to the point where when I was older and I kind of realized that, oh wait, I don't have to have my hair like that, I can choose to have it my way now. It felt because it had been like that like for so long, taking it down felt so weird. Like it felt wrong, it felt uncomfortable. It's just funny, and you know, a little bit sad. Body, yes, so I have warts on my feet that I'm gonna show them. If you don't like looking at that stuff, then look away, because I'm gonna show my warts and all. Love them, warts and all. Love that phrase. Warts and all. So I have warts on my feeties, and to me, they, for a long time I've resonated with them representing shame. It goes with that whole I want to hide energy of being seen like on stage is the worst place. And that all comes from like enmeshment being like, it's all about the other person, so the self is shamed. Being the self is not okay. You need to meld to what others want. So they came in with my first wart on my foot came when I was in the third house, so Woodside, and I reckon that it was when I had really become like, when I started detaching like from my mum, from enmeshment, because it's like when you're enmeshed you're safe, but when you start becoming more of your own person, that is when it starts getting dangerous in your body. It feels that way if you don't tell if your body thinks that being not having yourself and being for others is the safety. So it's like started triggering that shame, and that's when it came up. And then for a long time I just had one on each foot, and then it was like I have three on one foot and two on the other, and then they just kind of became many. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I don't have any there. I've had quite a few like bodily ailments. 6, 7, 8, 9. Kind of 10, kind of 11, 12, kind of 13, kind of 14. I kind of have 14 warts on my feet. Which I'm very excited to be able to share, to document, to feel safe enough to do that, because that would not have been an okay feeling a while ago, or even not a while ago. Because I'm coming far more into a new era of the opposite of shame, love. I feel like they're gonna heal. So it's kind of cool to document that. Future me. Hi, future me! Who's looking back on this like, oh, remember then? Remember when you were in that old room and you still had warts on your feet? And you still felt like you needed to be quiet when your mum walked around? Like, she did not know how powerful she was. That power. She did not love herself. She did not understand. She did not understand the truth. I see future me. And that's how I feel about my past self still. Like, oh, my love. I don't know how in detail to go. I guess I'll share it. At one point I had for several years, I'd say a few years, in my female area, on the left labia, I had like a growth, or like a something. It was like at the lower, so it was near like the opening to the inside of the vagina. It was not like too far down. I wasn't sure about sharing this at all. Now I'm sharing like the exact area. And I remember that healed in this house. And I remember the feeling of it, because I was touching it in the moment, or like I was touching it, and I remember feeling, I connected with the emotion of it, and I was so aware. And over the course of like a few hours, I guess a few hours, that's my guess. Oh, I don't, yeah. All the strong memory I have is like of going to the bathroom when I came back, or like when I came back, or maybe I touched it in the bathroom. I think when I came back into my room, it was almost gone. I just remember the feeling of like I was processing through the emotion of it, and it healed, and I hadn't thought it was gonna heal. I kind of thought that it was always gonna be there. And it was all the emotion of like not having boundaries, of like the body kind of trying to protect myself, saying like, don't let anything in here. Yeah, that was another bodily thing. But yeah, I think the main thing has just been my feet plantar warts, which I've had a cool association with, which I don't fully know what I think about it anymore, but I used to see it very clearly, like it kind of like sockets that, you know, like octopuses have, like the tentacle things like that make them stick. It was kind of like, I'm so ungrounded, I feel so like it's not safe to be in my body, that it's not safe for me to take up any room or to breathe in any air. I also don't have the best breathing. Yeah, I felt so like it wasn't okay for me to be grounded, to have myself exist, that my feet were like creating sockets so it could like grip itself on the ground, because it's like it needed to create extra suction. But then recently I saw